One of President Trump's first political stunts in office could have terrible ramifications in the future for Californians. On January 27th, Trump posted on his social media site, quote, "The United States military has entered the great state of California and under emergency powers, turned on the water, flowing abundantly from the Pacific Northwest and beyond. The days of putting a fake environmental argument over the people are over. Enjoy the water, California." Now, many people, including myself, didn't know what the hell the president was talking about. This was obviously in reference to the Los Angeles wildfires, but is there a big button that turns the water on in the state that for some reason hadn't been pushed that required the military at the president's direction to push? I mean, what's really going on here? And at last week's White House press briefing, one reporter tried to make sense of it all.
On California, could you please clarify what the military did with the water last night as referenced in the president's Truth Social post?
The water has been turned back on in California, and this comes just days after President Trump visited Pacific Palisades, and as you all saw, applied tremendous pressure on state and local officials in Pacific Palisades, including Los Angeles Mayor Karen Bass, to turn on the water.
So could you clarify what the military's role was, where the water came from, and how it got there?
Again, the Army Corps of Engineers has been on the ground in California to respond to the devastation from these wildfires, and I would point out that just days after President Trump visited the devastation from these fires, the water was turned on.
Thanks. That clears things up. Well, in the absence of any real information about this, you might have assumed that this was just Trump speaking nonsense. Turns out it's even worse. Local officials are now telling the press what actually happened here. The Army Corps of Engineers was ordered to release billions of gallons of water from 2 reservoirs to flow downstream into areas that aren't even near Los Angeles. The water release won't in any way assist the city in fighting wildfires, which were already contained when the order was given. This was done just so Trump could say the water was released, which he did say, posting this picture of water. The thing is, this photo op water release nearly caused a lot of damage, and it still might. City officials had to actually talk the Army Corps down from releasing as much water as they were initially ordered to by the White House. A full release could have flooded farms and equipment and endangered people near riverbanks. It's not entirely clear what's going to happen to all that water that was released for no reason. It will probably evaporate. Meanwhile, California's water reserves are now more depleted when they might be needed later in the year to counteract drought conditions for farms. California Senator Alex Padilla sent a letter to Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth about the water release. It read, quote, "Unscheduled water releases require close coordination with local officials and safety personnel, as well as downstream agricultural water users, in order to reduce flood risks to communities and farms. Based on the urgent concerns I've heard from my constituents, as well as recent reporting, it appears that gravely insufficient notification was given, recklessly endangering residents downstream." Meanwhile, another sludge report news, Democrats once again voted to confirm a Trump cabinet nominee, refusing to take any stand whatsoever while the president and Elon Musk provoke a constitutional crisis. On Monday, fossil fuel CEO Chris Wright was confirmed to be the next energy secretary, assisted by 8 Democrats who voted for his nomination. They included Senators Michael Bennet, Ruben Gallego, Maggie Hassan, Martin Heinrich, John Hickenlooper, Ben Ray Lujan, Jeanne Shaheen, and independent Angus King, who caucuses with Democrats. Wright has pledged to drill baby drill and dismantle the so-called Green New Deal, or as he calls it, the Green New Scam, which has never actually been enacted. So yeah, I'd say voting to confirm a dirty energy executive as the world breaches the 1.5 degrees Celsius warming threshold is a form of climate change denial itself. Hey, thanks for watching. Hit the subscribe button so you don't miss any of our new videos. Also, if you want to see Means Morning News in its complete form, not just the clips we post here. Head on over to Means TV and get access to all our new episodes and our entire backlog, plus tons of other great movies and original TV shows.